Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Wednesday night special of the Grand Central Sports Hub. Hope everyone's doing well on the evening of the return of the National Hockey League. Good evening, Mr. Soriano. How you doing?
Lovely.
Nice to have you back after a week off.
Yeah. It was a weird hiatus for me.
It was weird not to have you. Diamond is having technical difficulties. I'm guessing similarly to what I had last week. You should be happy. You should be very happy tonight, Matt. You did not have to ad-lib by yourself for like 20 minutes like Dan did last week.
Well, I'm guessing that I'm more sober than Dan would have been last week. I did do a little bit of day imbibing today at lunchtime, but
as you should. It was quite a day today, so I can't blame you for enjoying the afternoon. No, but Dan went on for a good 20 minutes. I couldn't get a camera view last week. I never updated. Shocker, as you know me, and how good I am at taking care of my shit. Hey, Diamond, the band is back together.
Good
nice
evening.
hat. Oh man, I really want that hat.
Well, you can go on Fanatics and buy yourself.
I might have to, and that zip up. Oh man,
do you have a discount code?
Fanatics has always got a sale going on. I would.
I know.
So I was just complimenting you for.
If you didn't get it, they'll send you another one for free.
Oh, okay. Because why not?
The old lightning 2-for-1.
Right. And then just decide you didn't want it, and you can return it. And you got a free hat.
I was just complimenting that you did a great job. I was watching the show back, Dan, and for your 20 minutes of ad-libbing or whatever it was, it probably felt like an hour last week. I was saying, like, I really take care of my shit really well. Shocker, I would need to do an update that I probably should have done months ago. And it took forever to reboot, and Dan carried the show. So, mazel, great job.
Thank you, and we'll say good things.
Yeah.
Our wagers, some of them came true, some of them did not, but Alabama and the over. What a way to finish the weekend.
It was a rough parlay for me. I was dead in the water after the first game. Anyone else have good results last weekend?
The Bills came through for me. That was about it. The fucking Seahawks rammed me in the ass a few times.
Yeah, that was not good. But took the Saints. Who was it? I forget. He took each game. Low dollar. I think we went 2 for 6. Got Tampa and the Packers still to win the Lombardi, but Alabama and the over was the clincher. So feel good about that. I was just waiting for that game to keep scoring points, and when Alabama pulled away right after the second half, it was like, oh, maybe they're done. And then I was like, oh no, they're not. And Devontae Smith getting hurt, so it was like, oh well. They're still going to score, and score they did. And then, they let Ohio State score a couple touchdowns, but, they tipped the over early and I think late in the third. So not much of a game, but, Alabama's very good.
Very, very good. Yeah, fuck, they could win. They could have blown out the NFC East this year. But that's not saying much, right?
They could have beaten the Jaguars. Go up the road from Miami and take on the Jaguars. It's like there was a proposal or one of these memes or whatever that said like whoever finishes last in the NFL needs to play Alabama to see if they get to stay.
That would be, because they do that. Am I correct in saying soccer, like European soccer, they like demote and promote?
Yeah. So
man, that would be so good.
The bottom 3 teams in the league get relegated down to the championship, and the top 3 teams in that league get to move up.
I love that.
So it's great until you get those teams that get called up and they suck and they get blown out by everybody.
Yeah.
Which is why Crystal Palace, a very middling team, very American in a way. Just sort of average and in the middle. Big game tomorrow against Arsenal, 3:00 Eastern time, plus 550. Think about it.
Fuck.
Just throwing that out there.
And actually, they could both go fuck themselves.
I think. Hey, Andrew. I think Matt's off the soccer gambling wagon.
Yeah.
Specifically those 2 teams.
Because every time Dan says bet those two teams, I bet those two teams, and they fucking don't win.
And now
I'm going back full time in school.
Oh, good. I'm sure Dad's very happy.
well, Dad gets to go to his office, but Mommy doesn't. So Mrs. Diamond is very happy.
Oh,
Sure she is.
Andrew, I'm sure you miss your friends, so that's awesome.
I do.
That's awesome.
So Tampa Bay plays the Saints this weekend. Who's going to win?
Yeah. So do you want to do? All right. So here's the question: football. Do you want to slide right into football? Let's just do. Yeah. Let's go football, and then we'll talk hockey in a little bit.
All right, Andrew.
And,
here, ask Andrew who's going to win each game this weekend. You're a celebrity picker, Andrew. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm just Andrew stealing the show. So, this is what we'll talk football here off the bat because we're kind of in that mode. I do have to say today, everything seemed calm, NHL opening night, and then Brooklyn Nets go and trade for James Harden and just threw we're going to shit all over the NHL face-off tonight. So there's that going on. And you know what's interesting?
Keep it G-rated.
I just have to get this.
Ask me who's going to win all of the games this week.
There you go.
I just have to get this off my chest because it's bothering me that I feel like the Mets and the Nets are more competitive with each other than the Yankees and the Mets are right now.
I don't know about that.
No, the Nets are making moves, and basically it's like Brooklyn and Queens are fighting for New York supremacy, and the Bronx is like, oh, we don't care anymore.
They are the two biggest boroughs.
And that's really bothersome for me.
And the most diverse.
Ask me who's going to win every match.
Okay, go
football.
Saturday.
So here's what we've got. We've got Saturday and Sunday, 2 games apiece, and this should be a heck of a weekend. So kicking things off Saturday at 4:35, the 13-3 Packers, the number 1 seed, host the 6 seed 10-6 Rams. Green Bay giving 6.5. Dan.
Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay too.
Probably take the points there. Looks like the money line's 305. Take the points. Probably with the under is 45.5. I would take the Packers, the points, and the under.
Soriano.
I would take the points, which would package nice in a parlay with another team, and I'll save that for the next.
I would take the points and the Packers. I'm not messing with over-unders. God, they're just in these games, but Packers, I think, is unanimous. So the 8:15 game on Saturday night.
Hold on, Andrew. Who do you pick in that game? The Rams or the Packers?
Packers.
There you go.
Boy. Smart kid.
Boy.
I don't even know if Goff is back yet for the Rams in this game.
It didn't seem to make a difference last week.
Yeah. The 8:15 game on Saturday night, the 13-3 number 2 seed Bills host the 11-5 5 seed Ravens. The Bills are only giving 2.5.
What? Okay.
All right. What? Go ahead.
In a few minutes.
Who do you like in the Ravens and the Bills, Andrew?
Ravens.
Ooh. See, I'm going to go with Buffalo on that one. Buffalo money line's 141. Might take that 115 with 2.5 points. Over under's 50. Bills points doesn't matter. Just I like the odds better, and probably go the over in this game. Matt doesn't like it.
I would take the money line and I'd parlay it with the Green Bay game.
All right.
I think it's just an easy, nice little neat package. I've had the mush curse, the mark of the mush, the last couple of weeks, so I need to break the schneid.
Yeah. No, I like the Bills and the points. If your line is only 2.5, I like the Bills and the points. Again, I'm not messing with the over-unders, but
I'm just throwing that in there for fun, but I'm only taking the 2.5 points because the odds are better.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, we have one.
The odds are better on the points.
You're getting, I mean, 2.5 is nothing though. It's like whatever.
Before I leave,
wait, you got to do the next 2 games.
oh yeah.
Yeah, stick around, buddy. Stick around.
You know what? I lost my tooth a few days ago.
I know, actually, because we talked about it last week. And just so you know, there was a big the tooth fairy had to go to the ATM at like midnight to get your money.
How much was that worth?
No, the tooth fairy came up with the cash. Don't worry.
Good job.
I think the tooth fairy cashed some scratchers.
Is that a Hamilton these days? What is that?
I don't know, man. I don't even remember. What did you get? What did the tooth fairy bring you?
$5 so I can get my Minecraft.
Where's the inflation? There's no inflation in the Sadowski household.
This is a
you know what?
commercial zone over here.
I got
about 35 years or so, but I don't think that's keeping up.
That's
the taxes are high in Hamilton.
Teaching the kid young. It's very smart.
All right, Sunday, 3:05, Cleveland Browns and Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, so I have the Chiefs given 10.
Yeah, Chiefs.
You like the Chiefs?
You're paused.
I'm going with the Browns and the points.
God, I love the Browns. I love the Browns.
I think the Chiefs will win, but I'm going to take the points because I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, and actually, they're it looks like the money is on the Browns and the points right now.
Wait, are you we're all taking the Browns and the?
I'm taking the Browns and the points and the over 57.
I'm taking what's the other one?
I think this has the opportunity to become a shootout in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
This is one game that the over looks really good based on these two teams. Yeah,
it's the Kareem Hunt revenge game.
Because don't you forget, the Browns really struggled on D the second half of last week.
Yeah, that's because they were winning by 30 points, Jason.
Well, wasn't
that's
some
because you were
strategic issues
congratulating people in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Like Baker went off and filmed another progressive commercial.
I just finished watching Harry Potter.
That's perfect. I was like, congratulations, Kyle Edwards, your team won.
Yeah, it's
shout out to half an hour to go.
All right, the last game of the weekend, Sunday. What time is it? 6:40.
6:40. Sunday's an early night. The 12-4
Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's what I choose.
I know. I wonder why. So the Saints giving 3 to the Bucks
because I hate the Patriots.
They're what?
They're
playing the Saints, dude.
Wow, what a turn!
I choose the Saints.
Oh, listen, the Buccaneers are playing the Saints. So who do you pick? Why?
Because they're better.
This is a tough one.
The Saints given 3.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? What do you think there, Mr. Soriano?
I want to root against Tom Brady, but I don't think Breeze has enough left in the tank.
Bye, guys. Good night.
Good night, Andrew.
Good night.
Come on.
See you next week.
Tampa didn't look good last week.
Don't forget the binky.
They barely get by the Washington football team.
Washington.
Yeah. The Redskins.
Thank you for accommodating.
I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think the Saints are gonna crush them.
Wow, I like your optimism.
I do.
So I will take the Bucks on the money line.
The mush is spoken.
I think the Saints are gonna crush.
St. Thomas will be there.
I like it.
But the Bucks on the Bucks 150 money line is very, very appealing. Where is that game? It's in New Orleans.
Yes.
Oof, boy, they saved the best for last for sure. Oh man, I gotta go with the Saints.
Yeah.
Just feel like that's. The Tampa. The over/under is 51.5. It's going to go over, I would guess, unless it's. I can't see it not. But Tampa at 150 is also very appealing.
And I tell you, I'm already on the margins with my bookie, but boy, this would be a good week for a 4-week parlay, for a 4-game parlay.
Yeah.
There's some good games out there.
It's down to it now, right? I mean,
The Browns is the only game that really frightens me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the Browns have enough in, like you said, the defense. I mean, joking aside, I mean, Kansas City can score at will, but there have been games where Kansas City didn't look all put together this year, and who knows, right? Any given Saturday, I guess that is a Sunday, but I mean, any given Sunday. So it's a tough one.
Too bad, Casey's not in the comments yet today because he was so bullish on the Steelers last week. Oh, they're going to crush the Browns. Oh, they're going to crush the Browns. And I'm like, no way. And look what happened.
Look, that was the easiest fucking call of the weekend last week. Was the Browns, and they were getting what, 8 points? I mean, come on.
Just sometimes
they actually got 9.
Yeah, they really hell of a job by the team without the coach and everything. Just hell of a job.
Well, I mean, the Steelers were obviously in sort of a tailspin, and they had lost 4 or 5, and I mean, the writing was on the wall, right?
Yeah, no, it's.
Cleveland had a banner year. They're ready to light the lake on fire, and Ben is ready. Ben is he's got to be done.
I don't know. I mean, there just wasn't enough around him, and I mean, that defense, geez, Louise, and I mean, even on the first the miss, you knew they were fucked after the first play of the game with the misplayed snap and everything. You're like, forget it. This team isn't built mentally to overcome that.
Yeah.
I think. Do you think Ben's done now? Retire time.
I don't know how much more he's got left. He
probably doesn't want to go out like that, but
I mean, I don't have a choice in the matter.
Right. It's true.
I mean, Pittsburgh's going to have a lower or a higher draft pick, but I mean, if they go after a quarterback, then that'll tell you all you need to know.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be. I can't see him coming back.
I mean, I don't even know who the backup in Pittsburgh is.
The what's his face, Mason Rudolph, right?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Get Cordell Stewart back.
Cordell Stewart, the pride of Colorado.
Why did I pack all my hard liquor up?
That's not a good choice.
There he is.
So hey,
what was the bet last week? I did 10 points.
What?
Right?
Yeah. What was? Yeah.
I forget what I gotta watch the videotape, man. Casey, remind me what the bet was. I forget already.
Because Dan won that bet.
I forgot all about it. You could have taken me for it. It was something about 10 points.
I think there's dinner involved or something.
I know, a case of beer, whatever.
Casey could ship out some Gavadil from DeMaria's.
It's at least so, I'll take that little Schfoydel, give me some of that shit from that, Ferrari.
There we go.
I can't wait till we can all freaking meet up in New York again. Jesus.
Oh, a drink fest. That's right. So, but I put a bar tab on it, right? So you owe me the whole tab. I don't even remember what it was for.
We're gonna go to what was the place that we went to Thanksgiving Eve 2 years ago?
Growler and Gill right there.
Yeah, we'll go there.
Or Nanuet, whatever. Yeah, I mean District 96 in New City where Bar None used to be.
Oh, okay. Is that good?
I went there with my brother. I forget when it was, but they were open. It was during the pandemic year, and there was a NASCAR race on, so it must have been in June or July, I forget. But I mean, man, their beer is good, and they did some collaborations with Other Half and some others. So not bad for
the place I went to on Thanksgiving this year. Two Villains, was it? That place was legit too, so we can go there. That was awesome.
What is this Quinta Steakhouse? We want to go to Bully? We're in Rockland. We want to go to Bully Boy.
Matt, no, Quinta. I've been there 4 times with Casey and my lovely aunt and.
Nancy?
Oh no, Rhoda. Hello.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I am.
And this place is legit, absolutely legit. It's like a Spanish steakhouse kind of deal. Absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good. It's near Pearl River.
Should take Casey to what's that place in Vegas? The new sports hotel. The fucking place with the pool.
Circa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the place with the pool and
Venus
the
and
gambling.
Circa in March.
Just let him loose with like an 8-ball and a wild catch.
You know, the liquor and the hookers.
And the gambling.
She's right next to you.
Russian.
Which game? What game was it?
Oh my God! I gotta show you.
Is he talking about Nancy or Rhoda?
No, last week I bet Casey something, but I guess I won. I'm on a hot streak. It was something about was it the Titans game? I don't remember.
Oh, Eric Frankel just sent me an amazing thing. I'll have to get this on the show in a little bit. Oh my God, so cool. All right, so listen. We have I can't with the comments. I can't deal. So hockey dropped the puck tonight. I watched the Penguins and Flyers game for like 30 seconds, and I had to shut it off because I can't stand either team. I actually have the Knicks-Nets game on right now. I have no idea what's wrong with me. I don't
Knicks
know.
Are down by 4.
They are. The Nets should crush them theoretically.
They're down by what?
Only 4 in the second quarter.
40. It was like what?
It should be 40. It should be. But
is
listen,
Harden playing yet for the Nets?
No, and I wish we had Josh, the Red Sox fan, on tonight to dissect that with us. But at the end of the day, basketball is like our 7th priority on the show. But I will say, good luck, Steve Kerr, managing a locker room of Kyrie Irving and Harden and these.
Nash.
What'd I say?
Kerr.
I'm wondering why this game looks so strange to me. And the Knicks are wearing fucking black jerseys, and I'm like,
yeah, it's those city jerseys or something.
This game looks so strange. Not to mention that the garden is dark because there's no fans.
It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre.
The Rockets. Now that no one will care about the Rockets, their city jerseys are fire.
Dan, do you think this? If you had to guess today, does this Harden move backfire on the Nets, or do they win a championship here?
The Nets are already odds-on favorites to win the Eastern Conference. Even over Boston and Philadelphia and Miami. This only makes them a better team, makes them more unlikable, of course. But you need a heel that's gonna. We always said like the Nets were one piece away, and maybe Harden as a power forward is that missing piece with Durant, and this could be it. But you gotta, like the Rockets. So maybe fittingly, right? Last night, Harden's last game in a Rockets uniform, they played the Lakers, and they were down by 30 at the half. The whole purpose of a team now in the Eastern Conference is to beat the Lakers. So how do you build a team? Obviously, the worst kept secret was that Harden was not happy in Houston.
Yeah.
They couldn't get rid of him before the beginning of the season because their priority was to get rid of Westbrook instead, which worked out. And now Harden is gone, and he's in New Jersey. He's in Brooklyn.
But here's
Kyrie.
I get
Durant.
going for it. Kyrie's a head case, right? He's mad apparently.
You have the Eastern Conference equivalent of the Lakers now.
This is good. He's never even healthy, Kyrie. So it's a good point for Eric. Like how many games does he play? And so the Nets gave up a 2022nd, 2024th, and 2026 first round picks, and they've swapped picks with the Rockets and for 4 other seasons. Like, I get this whole sometimes you have to go for it. But if you don't win, or this core might implode after a season, they might not even have more than 1 year to do it.
Maybe they will,
right?
But
the last time the Nets won a championship was in the ABA.
Well, they won the Eastern Conference in 2003, right?
No, but I mean an actual championship.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I was fucking alive. So,
and you old. And they were in fucking East Rutherford, not in Brooklyn. So I think the pressure ramps up now. Obviously, the Nets are a draw. They were before, and now you have James Harden. I don't think he is he's a consequential player, right? He was the best player on the Rockets, and now he's the 3rd best player on the Nets. So
It should drive James Dolan bananas that right across the river there's potentially a championship being.
Well, the Knicks are building something. We'll see if they can stay the course. I mean, who can trust them, right? I get it. But for the Nets, James Harden should be more focused because strip clubs are currently closed in the New York metro area, right?
I'm sure he still lives in Houston, so I mean, you can just go home.
So
there you go. So you got 2 years. Like I know, 2 seasons, 2 years. Be competitive. Like I said, they were odds favorite. A trendy pick to win the conference anyway. So it's not like Harden hurts your chances when you're in the playoffs.
No. It's just if you don't win, these draft picks in the NBA are more so than many other leagues. They're important, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Rockets just fucking got a ton of them. So
yeah.
Which is weird that it's not like a player for player deal, but
well, the Rockets know they're junk now, and they have to do this. They have to rebuild. So this will be an interesting story to follow, but I'm excited because it's time for hockey.
Let's do that hockey.
Sponsored by
Honda. So this season we go into the temporary 4-division realignment. Something I wish baseball did last year, because it makes sense if you're going to play teams. So you're only teams in your region this season so many times that you play in the same division, and it really means something. So like the Rangers and the Islanders are going to play 8 times this year. The Rangers and the Flyers are going to play 8 times this year. But these are games that every game means a divisional matchup, and that's.
But I don't want to play the Yankees 10 times a year.
But we can go down that ball of wax another time because you would love it if it was for the division. Like you would. So let's just call out here. Let's call it for what it is. We have. Oh man, I miss the days of the Patrick division. Who misses the days? I mean, really. So instead, we have the Mass Mutual Eastern Division,
better known as the NBC. What is it? The NHL and NBC division.
So we have banks and cars. We have the Discover Central Division. The
only two industries still making any money.
We have the Honda West Division and the Scotiabank North, otherwise known as the Canadian Division. Listen, I know COVID calls for getting money back and all of this, but wouldn't you gentlemen agree that this is here to stay? Like these once you slap a logo on something, they're never going away.
No, probably not.
They're never going away. Better get used to it. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be what it is. So 4 divisions this year, and teams playing a 56 game season. You're only playing teams in your division, so that's supposed to help with travel and all of that, all of those concerns, right? So we'll see how that goes. But let's line up for you what we're looking at here in the scheme of the divisions. I really need an admin when I do these kind of screen shares. So.
Incredible producing.
I know. I try. I think that's all in there. I'll make it. Yeah. No crap. Okay.
Peggy, can you put the next slide up, please?
Next slide, please.
So
Hi, who just joined?
Our focus. Oh God.
Use your phones, please.
Listen, our focus on this pod really is the East, right? Obviously the East, the New York Metros and everyone else. This is a beast of a division. This is brutal.
Can you explain why all the Canadian teams are in one division, please?
They can't come into the country.
It's more so other people can't go to their country because Canada, even under this alignment, some provinces did not want to allow this.
Even Toronto FC in the MLS had to play in fucking Hartford.
Rudy. Like when you're taking a nap there, buddy. Come on, showtime was 7:00. Let's go. Let's be on time, okay?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Oh, see, I don't fuck. 7:00 his time. No, he's in Texas. 7:00 Central for Rudy.
Yeah, the border is closed, so
Yes.
that's why this is happening. So let's say that a Canadian team makes it to the. How does that work in the playoffs then? If a Canadian team
They're going to have to cross that bridge when they get there. Let's hope by July we're okay. We're not.
A Canadian team will not make the finals.
I don't know.
It's a good chance.
Well, Toronto. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Toronto's their best shot, and that's not even good. Yeah, I don't think.
I mean, this must be like the fucking
Edmonton,
Super
maybe.
Bowl.
Calgary's good.
Canadians, oh my god, it's gonna be like there are gonna be like 1 million babies in December because there's nothing but fucking Canadian hockey on in that country for fucking 3 months.
I'll tell you right now, this Eastern Division is brutal, and so if that means the Rangers get another great draft pick for one more year, that's just the way it's going to be. Because
I don't know that it's brutal because you've got Philly, Washington, and Boston.
They're all really, and Tampa is not in. Okay, I'm sorry. Why am I saying Tampa? So Philly, yeah, the Islanders are still going to be good. Boston's going to be the best in the conference. Pittsburgh and Philly and Washington.
Boston doesn't have a goaltender.
Only the top 4 make the playoffs.
Nor do they have a defensive captain anymore. Their defensive captain is in Washington.
But the Chara is like 87 years old anyway, so his departure doesn't hurt Boston as much as it helped Washington.
So they gave the seat to Bergie anyway. So
before the season starts, you're already saying the Rangers should tank for another.
No. I didn't say that. This is a huge year for development.
Don't wait for first round draft pick.
I did not. No. All I'm saying is you need to be realistic here in the sense that this is a really hard division, and if they don't make the playoffs, it's not doesn't mean they didn't develop and they sucked. This is a tough division.
Let's get down to brass tacks. Who this year do you think is making too much money?
They would
sell them away.
No, we're way past that. But they would make the playoffs in the other 3 divisions, I think, pretty easily. This division is ridiculous.
We gave Panarin $7 million. It's too much. Get rid of him.
He's a hard trophy candidate. Oh golly.
I'm just
he only scored 49 goals. It's not 50.
You know who else? Josh Allen, just such an overrated quarterback. He's dumb.
I was wrong. Literally the week after I said that, he goes on his tear and he hasn't.
Right, he's like the MVP leading candidate. You're like, God, this guy
Kansas City in 2 weeks.
He has one bad series, and you're like, driving him out of town.
Those are alphabetical order.
Really?
Alphabetical order.
I thought that was just a coincidence.
So like, you're right. I mean, I said Josh Allen is trash, and since then he's been on this ungodly tear.
Right. They're 60 minutes from the AFC Championship, but I mean,
ungodly tear. Terrible. He sucks, right? I know. He's carrying the team. He's carrying the team literally after I said all that.
So
Stephon Diggs is, but okay.
Will we be playing like Carolina and the Chicago Blackhawks at all?
You
won't
be playing anyone out of the East during regular season.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're playing all these teams over and over again. And I mean, I caught a snippet of Dog on Mad Dog Sports on Sirius XM Radio. He's like, you play the same teams, 8 or 9 times, and then the playoffs and all this. It's like, I get it. I understand. It might not be the most entertaining thing, but like that's why whoever it was came up with the not so complimentary NHL and NBC division, because the only games that are on national television anyway come out of this fucking division or
the Dallas Stars or the Chicago Blackhawks and the Red Wings.
Right. Right. So everybody, the teams that people are most familiar with anyway on a national basis, if they're not us, or if they're not hockey fans, are in this division. And it's how many you have? 1, 2, 3 original 6 teams.
Well, the original 6 situation is interesting because the original 6 teams, there's so many that are struggling. Detroit and Chicago, they're both going to be terrible, right?
Chicago made the playoffs last year. Everybody said they were going to be terrible.
Oh, Chicago's going to be awful this season. Maybe one of the worst teams in the league.
Get your hedges in now, folks.
Yeah. So, do you want to make that interesting? Do they make the playoffs?
Chicago definitely does not make the playoffs.
So, in that division,
Columbus,
Dallas,
Carolina, Columbus, Dallas, and Florida, and Tampa and Florida. I mean, right there. I mean, we're way ahead of Chicago.
I cannot wait for the Blackhawks.
Chicago and Detroit are vying for last place.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think Detroit has that pretty well locked
are
up.
vying for last place records in the entire league. I will bet you Chicago's one of the third worst records in the entire league. And I don't know what you want to bet on that, but I'll bet you that.
I don't know. Talk to your uncle, man. He'll take you out for drinks.
Yeah.
Chicago's one of the third worst records in the league. Don't you forget they've lost. Which one of those fuckers is sick? Which I should.
Patrick Kane's going to jail.
No, it's Kane who's sick.
No, he's out like with an undisclosed herpes injury. Casey, get your checkbook ready, man. You better start saving now.
So I mean, just keep it light here. They're going to be one of the worst 3 teams in the league. I'm going to just do division winners for you real quick. Boston's going to win the East. Okay. Boston's going to win the East. I think Tampa's going to win the Central. Colorado wins the West and probably goes to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
And the North is going to be Edmonton. No, I'm good there. Yeah, top 4 in each division make the playoffs. So,
wow.
I mean that's just
I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna say going reverse order: Winnipeg, Colorado, Tampa. Doesn't Tampa have somebody out for the year? Isn't it like Kuznetsov? Putin?
Yeah, but they were able to re-sign everyone else and stay under the cap. So I mean, they work some crazy math out there. They really it's Kucherov.
Okay,
but everyone else is back.
Okay, so I'll say Tampa, but I think the Islanders win the East.
Okay,
but I think Winnipeg was a good team last year. So I'll disagree on the North and the East.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Oh! Oh! That was great. That was like the Nickelodeon broadcast on Sunday. I'm watching the football game on Nickelodeon, and all I hear is "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Wow, this is a kids show."
Yeah, I noticed that they put it on like a really long delay after that happened.
And I like how Matt's outraged at the language. Out of all things, he's outraged at language.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Philadelphia, Tampa, Colorado, and I don't care about Canada. Toronto. I'll go with Toronto.
Okay. Toronto should win the division, but they are so inept. They are so inept, is what I'm getting at, and they can't build an all-around team. That they'll choke.
Look, man, when you're on, like, they don't have to play the Bruins, they don't have to play anybody.
Matt, you look like you're in a fishbowl. I don't know what happened.
I think my shutter.
I think you were having some issues there. Oh my god! I like how the language outraged you. Of all things in life, that was. I actually
friendly show.
I didn't know where it was coming from. I thought it was Mrs. Diamond. Actually,
she only swears. Never mind. So Toronto. What did I go back for a second there, Chief?
Oh, sorry.
Wait, I said Toronto, Colorado. Who was Tampa and Philadelphia?
Yeah. Okay. All fair. I mean, I'm going on a limb with Edmonton. I feel like, again, they should be in a breakthrough season at some point with all the talent they have. Calgary, don't sleep on Calgary, though.
Yeah, it's just, well, I do sleep on Calgary because all their games are at fucking 10:30 at night.
And for, the West, I don't feel is that competitive. Vegas, maybe. A lot of question marks there. some changes there.
Didn't they have a big pickup in the offseason, though?
They're still solid. I don't like the way their season ended with their goaltending controversy, the coaching change. Too much unrest there. So they just named their first franchise captain today, which so like they haven't had a captain since their inception, which brings me to the whole I don't get my panties in a bunch about the Rangers not having a captain. I think fans overrate this. I really do. I think they are way overrate this. So the Rangers are not naming a captain this year again.
DraftKings leading the odds and championship winners at 6.5 to 1 is Colorado, followed by Tampa at 7.5, Vegas it's 8.
Okay.
Toronto at 11, Boston at 15, Carolina at 18, Flyers at 18, Penguins at 18.
I like I can't believe I'm saying this. I like Boston at 15.
I mean, I like Philadelphia and I like Toronto at 1100.
What's Philly? Philly's at what?
Philly is at 1800. So
yeah, but Alain Vigneault teams will always choke in the playoffs.
Oh, we saw that last year, didn't we? I mean, and to be honest, the team that probably got the fuck the most by the coronavirus, other than the Dallas Stars right now, was the Philadelphia Flyers, because they were, super hot when the season ended, and the layoff didn't help them.
The Stars definitely overachieved last year.
I'm saying the Stars right now have 17 players out with coronavirus.
Yeah.
So, and the Stars were exciting last year, so give it up to them.
So our New York Rangers announced their opening day roster yesterday, and there really weren't any surprises. But I love that Keandre Miller made this team. I love it. He's an opening day. He is in the starting lineup tomorrow. He's 20 years old. He's only played defense for 3 years in college. Did not play defense before college. This guy. I'm so excited to watch Keandre Miller suit up tomorrow. I can't even tell you.
Something tells me that Tony D'Angelo doesn't love it.
So can we not? I mean,
why? Because he took his spot?
No.
Yeah, exactly why.
There's other reasons why. But listen, Rangers allowing Keandre to kind of trial by fire. This is the season to do it. Allowing him to trial by fire this season. This is the way you do it. No, this is the way. Stop. This is the way you do it. 56-game season. This is when you let your guy play. So
I think the most. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, after you.
I was going to say Jack Johnson's the guy you're going to complain about his salary.
Jack Johnson. It's not a salary. He just sucks, and I wish they hadn't signed him. I'd rather Brendan Smith be in the starting lineup. It looks like Smith's going to be the scratch, and Johnson's going to start tomorrow, I believe, alongside D'Angelo.
If Smith goes to the taxi squad, they don't have to pay. They don't have to pay him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So
you're saying Smith and D'Angelo are paired?
No, Johnson and D'Angelo are paired. It's a Fox, Lindgren, Trouba, Miller, D'Angelo, D'Angelo Johnson.
Maybe Miller can teach Trouba a few things.
I know.
Trouba's going to be fine. Trouba's going to be fine.
I think the most interesting thing about this team, though, is the left wing kind of stack from first to the third line. I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with Laffy on the fucking third line.
They are strong on the wings.
How many games is it going to take for Lafreniere to move up?
Yeah, no, they're deep on the wings. The center position is where you have questions, because right now Heedle's your second line center, and then Strome and Heedle second and third line centers. However you want to do it.
We all know DQ though wants he changes up lines in the middle of games. So I mean, I don't think when you're talking about a stack, starting the season, that by fucking Sunday it could be something different.
Listen, this is my three forwards. I am most invested in, besides the obvious. This is the three big ones for me.
I bet you're invested in him, all right.
Philip Heedle's development this year to be a second line center. This is a make it or break it for him, right? So he's going to be given every chance to be a second line center moving forward. Don't forget, he's still like 23 years old, but he's got to show he can do it in case they need to make a move and get a center in here. So Philip Heedle, big time, watching Philip Heedle like crazy. Pavel Buchnevich is probably trade bait. as to bring in a center, but I love to see him take the next step as well. He has done it every year, stepped up every year and improved. We'll see if he can continue that this season. And then I think my third forward. Oh, it's a tough one because it's the obvious, right? Like obviously we love Zibanejad, we love Panarin, but I honestly I listen. It's gonna have to be Laffy. So a rookie number 1 pick. You know,
guy hasn't played a minute in the league yet.
The world is his oyster, right? Like I'm just talking players I'm most interested in, like not adding pressure, but this is a guy that's supposed to transform the franchise, right?
So they say.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I think Brett Howden needs to go somewhere else to play. I want to see Brendan Lemieux give somebody like a compound fracture of the skull.
Well, man, if Brett Howden is if Brett Howden is your 4th line center, the world is not a bad place.
All right, but I mean, Lemieux, like, is he going to have more goals or penalty minutes this year?
And well, he draws a lot of penalties, which is his probably best trait. He does not have much offensive talent, and he's easily replaceable on a 4th line.
And the most obvious glaring question here is, who the fuck is Kevin Rooney?
I never heard of the guy.
Scrubby dub.
He's like the walk-on that gets to kick punts.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Julian Gauthier, he's supposed to be a Kreider mold player with his skating ability and his size. I'd love to see this guy develop into a solid top 6 hockey player this season. He could be a huge asset to this team if he develops. Big time. Because then you can make some moves. Then you can make a trade another winger, bring in a top center like Dubois at Columbus, this big contract. He's asked for a trade after signing this bridge deal with Columbus, so they could bring in a Dubois, who's a young scoring center who's already established, and do something like that. So if you have him develop, you can trade a Buchnevich and do that kind of thing.
The rumor is that kid out of Columbus is going to take at least Capo Caco.
I don't see how do you have any leverage when a player's asked for a trade out of Columbus? We've seen this happen multiple times. Columbus is not getting anything close to Capo Caco for Dubois.
I'm telling you what the tweeter says.
That Brooks article I read at 7:00 in the morning the other day, I laughed so hard. I've never laughed harder in my life at anything at 7:00 in the morning than that Larry Brooks article. They are never getting Capo Caco or anything close to that for Dubois. It's not happening. And by the way, I expect Caco to have a very good second season.
Wow, you just be waiting for all those goals.
I do, and I'm excited about the goalie. Shesterkin is just oh, what a guy!
Yeah,
so excited. So that's what I don't know. What do you think? What are you looking forward to, Dan? Tomorrow, opening night tomorrow. What are you looking forward to?
I mean, I think obviously, like everybody else, you want to see what Lafreniere's got. How he comes out, how he handles. I mean, granted, there's no fans in the stands, but and to see what the defensive pairings look like, and to see how this team's going to. Like I said, the stack on the left side will be interesting. And the fact that Chris Kreider, 6 years ago had to come out of college to play in the playoffs and graduate early, whatever it was, and now he's like the only 6 years ago, and now he's the senior, the elder statesman on this team. So, like you said, I don't think it's a big deal about the C. The A's went to the right guys except for Trouba, but there's nobody else in the defense that you could give it to right now. And we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I open mind and playing a good division, and hockey's back on TV, and they're playing in the Garden. I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah, we could not have a season. I mean, let's enjoy it, and I'm ready. I'm excited. I mean, there's going to be some really exciting nights, and there's going to be some tough games, and it's just part of a growing hockey team. There's one player over 30 years old on this team. One.
And that is.
Fuck, I don't even remember. It was tweeted. And I saw it on Twitter. I was like, I I think it's Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson might be.
Whatever. I mean, that's fine by me. I mean, they're and I Larry this morning, Brooks. I think this morning had an article, and it was like his piece was about the playoffs don't necessarily need to be a goal, but they're within reach, and that's fine. Great.
Yep.
Yeah, Johnson's
sure.
34.
I mean, and Panarin is a natural leader. He's going to helm this team for a while, and he's going to be that frontline guy, and we'll see if they've built around him appropriately.
Yeah, and there's multiple pieces to build on here. Zibanejad and Panarin are just cornerstones, and let's hope the young players develop into additional pillars here. So there's more to be excited about than there is to be sad about when it comes to Rangers hockey. The only problem is in this division, the Islanders are currently still better, and most of the teams are better, and the Devils are not. I think they're building something, and they're not as good as the Rangers, and it's just a tough division. That's the only thing. If this had been a normal season, a normal division, I think they'd have a better chance at making the playoffs. But it's going to be hard.
Maybe.
It's going to be hard. But we're looking for development here, and hopefully shit goes in the right direction starting tomorrow. And one of the 8 matchups against the Islanders tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I have no low. Like, I'm not not looking forward to it. I think we just need to see what shakes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So I had a surprise for you guys for today's special segment. I think. Hold on. What else did I have? Oh, first, before we do that, I got a picture sent to me from Eric Frankel. Remember, Matt, especially. Remember our favorite convenience store, Matt?
Yeah.
Look at that.
How about that?
I like the best part about that shirt is that convenience is spelled wrong.
Holy shit.
Is it? I can't.
It is.
Wait a minute. Or am I fucking myself?
Convenience.
Convenience.
Oh my god.
It's a convenience store. That is such a Spring Valley way of saying it. I gotta go to the convenience store.
The convenience store.
My brother was telling me about a guy who was saying, I never use a GPS. I just use Waze. And my brother's like, what? He's like, the app Waze. And he's like, do you mean fucking Waze? He's like, yeah, Waze. That's right up there with convenience.
I would take the Rangers at 140. Why not?
To make the playoffs? Absolutely. Also, while we're on that, let's go back to that for a second.
Yeah.
Again, on DraftKings, the Hart Memorial Trophy,
let's do that.
MVP.
Yeah.
Right now, 450 leading the charge is Connor McDavid. And then at 550 is Nathan McKinnon. 800 is Austin Matthews. Let's get down to 1100 is Artemi Panarin. Eichel is 2,000, so 20-1, and then I don't really care after that.
I like Panarin.
I'd throw a quarter on that.
Why not, right? I mean,
can you bring up Rookie of the Year, because the Rangers have multiple?
Yeah, so the two, like I said earlier, the two leading candidates for the for the Calder Trophy right now are Lafreniere at 300 and Shesterkin at 300 as well. So
Jesus,
pretty good, huh? And then
wow.
Kaprizov at 400, Hoglander at 900. And there's a lot of fucking vowels in the rest of this, and I think
where's Stutzel?
Stutzel is at 1,000. Tim Stutzel is at 1,000, so 10-1.
It's a good one. It's a good dark horse.
Yeah, but the Rangers must be doing something right, I guess. That John Davidson, he's a wily motherfucker. If the top two rookies in the league right now, according to a bunch of degenerates, are on the Rangers. That's right. One of which is a goalie, so we like that.
Yeah, no, that's a hell of a God. I would throw a couple on each of them.
I mean, the other one is plainly obvious as the number one pick in the draft, who was clearly above and beyond other teams, other players when they fixed the draft for the Rangers. So, it was like the fucking Cavs all over again. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. But, if he comes out and, it'll be interesting to see. And who he's on the third line, who's he going to be skating with? Yeah. Will it even matter?
He'll be playing with the other French Canadian. Gauthier, probably.
Yeah, probably. So, anyway.
So, Mush, what's this other segment you got?
So there's a app actually.
Parlor?
No.
Not anymore.
Called Answer the Internet. It's a game app, I guess sponsored. It's a Barstool. It's a Barstool gag, and so I found some questions from there that we were gonna see what you guys think. There we go. If you had to make your sandwiches with the same 2 meats and 1 cheese for the rest of your life, what would you choose?
Oh, this is fucking cake. I'll let Dan go first, though.
No, by all means, go. I'd like to hear your opinion.
Prosciutto, gabagool, and provolone. What other meats are there?
No, I think that's. I think like. Argue. I think.
One more to go?
No, that's a good one. How do you argue with that?
I never liked mortadella.
No, a little too nutty or something. I don't know.
Too much like bologna. I'm not a bologna fan.
It's true. I could give like the white answer and be like, turkey, ham, and American.
Oh, God. Oh, American's not even cheese. What's wrong with you?
All right. Okay. I like Casey's answer. Pastrami, roast beef, and mozz.
Why would you mix mozzarella
with pastrami? Mozz is the weird. Yeah, I love pastrami. I love roast beef. But mozz is weird.
This is all you have for the rest of your life.
Now, you could put mozz with your sandwich, Matt, and that would work well.
Yeah, that's true. I like the provolone is a little milder.
Yeah.
Mozz every day it might be a little heavy.
You may never shit again, but that's okay.
White bread. What's Wonder Bread?
Get out of here.
Fucking Christ.
Take a hike.
Oh, man, that's a good question, though.
No, you're not having that on Friday, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh. Corned beef and Swiss. I don't know. Pepperoni, salami, and Swiss.
I think Swiss isn't a bad option.
Yeah.
That's Northern Italian. You're making a Swiss cheese there.
Well, I guess it also depends on where you're getting it. Because if you get it at Subway, then I'm going fucking turkey and ham all day with American cheese because that's all I can trust there. That's all that tastes without the chemicals. If you're going to like Mountain View Deli and fucking Pomona, it's a different story. My fucking watch is thinking, I'm not talking.
What restaurant did you think was nice as a kid, but when you became an adult, you realized it wasn't that nice?
Oh, easy. Bennigan's.
Yes! That's fucking perfect.
Fucking thing.
That is exactly what I thought when I pulled this question today. Legitimately. I can't believe we all picked the same thing.
Well, it had a hostess.
Oh, yeah. They had like potato skins. Bennigan's for sure.
It was always a wait. People must have loved it.
Yeah, and the one in Rockland County was like perfectly located in New City.
Yeah. Rich neighborhood.
It was one of those where it was a chain, but you didn't think it was a chain. You're like, man, look, it's an Irish restaurant. It's fucking awesome. And you're like, ooh.
Yeah, right? You thought it was like, we're going to the Irish restaurant. We're not going to the diner tonight.
That's right. You don't have to eat eggs for dinner.
You know what the other one was? What was the other one? Pizza and Brew.
Pizza and Brew was fucking good.
Yeah, but I thought it was something special. Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
What's wrong with you?
That's that's a pretty modern answer, I would say there, Casey. There's an Olive Garden every 3 exits in Florida, and they think it's fucking Rayo's.
Oh, do you? My favorite soup is Olive Garden zuppa. I'm like, oh, did you know that in Italian zuppa means fucking soup?
Hey, what's the soup of the what's the soup du jour? What's the soup of the day?
Chili's. Oh my god.
Jason, you want to answer this one?
Oh, could you date someone who has an anonymous OnlyFans account?
Yes.
I am gonna Kirk Herbstreit pass on answering this question.
Yes.
Yes. Why would you know? Why would it be a bad thing?
I feel like this question might be in play. So I mean, so it's closer to some others than me. Yeah, I don't know.
Jason, I think Barstool might be tapping your phone, Jason.
I'm pretty sure right now the people that read Barstool would, they would date anybody that whether they have an OnlyFans account or not.
You're a 3-headed monster. You need to select 2 other heads. The first head is one of your idols. The second head is a person you hate. Who are you picking?
I don't know that I want to say this publicly.
This is a very odd question. Because the question I have is, if you are a 3-headed monster, what do you have? Like secret powers? Is there something that what do you just have to live as a 3-headed monster without any sort of specialty?
I don't know. What's the specialty?
Yeah, I'm passing on this question.
Yeah, pass.
Oh, great.
It's easy. Fine. Go back, throw it again.
Hold on. I got 2
Come
more.
on. Come on, Professor. 3-headed monster. What was it? It was someone you hate, and what was the other one? An idol?
Someone you hate
idol.
and someone your idol, yeah.
Oh, all right. Then I pick Jason and Matt. You guys can figure out which one.
If you had one free throw and you make it, you get $1 million. But if you miss it, you never could text again. Would you do it?
Yes.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah, I would say yes.
In a second. Jeez. Oh, the comments are out of control.
All right, so if you make it, do you get to text and get $1 million?
Yeah, nothing happens to you bad.
That's good.
All right, I got one more. What the fuck? I think it's that one, right? Is it that one? If you could pick one celebrity to have your back in a bar fight, who would you pick?
I initially read this wrong. I thought it was one celebrity to beat the shit out of in a bar fight.
Well, that too. What would you do?
Well, if it were that question, it would be Marky Mark. I don't know. I just don't like him. I would pick Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I would pick Alec Baldwin. I think that guy's gotten into enough street arguments with like Page Six that he would just have this unrelenting like Irish street anger.
Right. That's a good tack there. I like that. Think about people who have like broken paparazzi cameras and shit.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about open street ballroom brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm in.
I'm gonna go.
I'll
go Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
He is like an octogenarian. You know that, right?
Who?
He's like in his 80s.
Yeah, but Chuck Norris doesn't age. He doesn't really age.
He was at the Capitol riots.
I saw. Nick Nolte.
All right.
Oh wait, who's the guy yeah, I was gonna say Gary Busey because he's.
He's always drunk though, so I don't know if that'll work.
Oh, he's going with harder shit than that.
That doesn't do anything, right? Drunk is a good thing in this case.
No kidding. It's a bar fight, not a fucking ballet recital. Jesus. That's a good question.
That's a good game. So that game is an app apparently that you can download and play.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good story.
Yeah.
Should we revisit our football picks again? Or are we good?
Jackie Chan.
I'm solid with my picks. I think
I like that.
My only question is, do I do a 4-team or do 2-2-team parlays?
Go all the way. Do both.
Yeah.
Do a parlay for each day and then do a 4-team.
Then hedge out. Yeah.
Because if you make it aggregate, then you're fucked. Like last week when
exactly. The fucking Bills don't cover and I'm done.
And then your whole weekend is fucking ruined.
And he saw. Okay, let me. I know we're getting.
Well, again, hold on. You're playing catch up because like betting individual games, you're only winning like 34 a game, which is fine, and then you only win 2 or 3 of the 6, which is why. See, they got it all figured out because then you put your money on the Natty. And, you had to take Alabama, and I was tempted to take the under. And then while I was on my way to place our wagers, I was like, you know what? I'm going with the over. I felt good about it because Ohio State performed very well. See, if I were a Jets fan right now, I'd be in like a total fucking disarray because last weekend you were like, fuck Kelly Lawrence. I'm going with fucking Justin Fields. And then Fields comes out and plays a marginally good game. I mean, granted, the stakes were much higher and the competition was much more difficult, but Fields did not look terrific in the national title game. Granted, against like the fucking like an NFL defense, but he just seemed like less mobile. I mean, he took Clemson and broke him in half. And he played a great game, but then again on the other side of the ball on Monday, Devontae Smith breaks fucking records left and right before the fucking half is over, and then he dislocates his finger, can't get it back into place, and he still wins the MVP a week after winning the Heisman Trophy. Like that's he's we were talking about this with Saquon Barkley and generational players. I mean Devontae Smith may be like one of the best college, if not the best college wide receiver in history, and that's saying quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and then I feel like it's not that Alabama got sold short by a shortened season. I mean, we've had 4 years to. I mean, think about I was talking with Jerry about this, the other day. I was like the wide receivers last year, and now in Tuscaloosa, it's amazing. I mean, you had. You had Smith, you had Judy, and then those 2 other guys whose names I can't think of right now. But I mean, it's like that's just trends. Like you can't. How are you supposed to compete against that? You just can't. And I mean, this begs the question too, and we can go on about it. Too bad our resident media expert's not on tonight. But I mean, the ratings for the ship on Monday were the lowest they had been in years. Right, I think it was 18 million, or even last year in a lackluster game, it was like 25 million. And maybe that's because it was a shortened season. Maybe people are getting tired of seeing the same teams all over again. And what's going to happen next year is that Alabama's going to be in the Final Four again. Ohio State, potentially Clemson. Clemson came out already as the number 1 team, in the way too early prediction kind of things. And there's no, and there's an argument to be made here that Texas A&M. Who played in whatever bowl it was, should have been in the top 4, depending on whether or not, Ohio State really, or rather Notre Dame, no offense, Mr. Soriano deserved to be there, but does it make the case for expanding the college playoffs? I don't know.
And these games weren't good. This year did not make a good case for that.
Well, and I mean, Texas A&M, everybody was like, well, they're an SEC team and they're kind of marginal and blah, blah, blah. And, they come in the last, whatever, I forget what bowl it was, right? But, they got 7, they were giving 7.5 points to North Carolina, a good ACC team who overperformed this year. And they went out there and they won by almost, they won by 15 points. So 16 points. And they just went out there and they played their game. And I was like, okay. And they were a night game and it was a national audience. And it made the case that they could potentially have been in the top 4. But whether it's because, especially in a year like this, right, where the Power Fives, we went over this on this show, were like hesitant to come in. And then the Big Ten was like, fuck you, we're in. And we always knew that the SEC was going to be in anyway. And the Pac-12 was like, okay, well, we're West Coasters and we'll come along. Do you want 2 SEC teams in the Final Four? I don't know.
Well, they should probably add a round to the whole thing anyway, just to try and get a little bit more flavor in there.
Right. I mean, I'm not talking about fucking 16 teams, right? Like, if you have 8 teams, that's a different story. And you can guarantee that all these, like, the Hertz car rental fucking jerk-off bowl, that's like on December 23rd. Do you really need that bowl game anymore?
Yeah. I would maybe add 2, give 1 to a bye, and
you can do that too.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would not add more than 2 teams.
But then again, that sort of defeats the purpose, does it not? Because then who's going to get the bye? Alabama, right? Yeah. So then you're taking away one extra.
It might
game.
actually hurt Alabama for not playing a game too.
I disagree. I think if they play somebody, let's say they played Texas A&M, right, as a 1 and a 8,
Yeah.
Or North Carolina or Ole Miss.
No, I mean hurt them in the sense where they're not playing for a week and they could get rusty and then have to play the next week. So.
Right. I mean, and everybody wants to say, oh well, Ohio State only played 6 games. Blah, blah, blah. I mean,
but do you add? So that's the thing.
Then why did Ohio State go out and take Clemson to the?
So you put 8 teams in, and the 1-8 matchup's going to be a mauling. The 2-7 matchup's going to be a mauling. Like then you're just adding it for no reason. Like,
why is
it worth it?
All right, so then in college basketball, why does Vermont play fucking North Carolina? Right? I mean, you have to get through a first round.
You can't compare. You're comparing fucking apples to fucking exotic fruit.
I don't know, but if you're going to expand it, I mean, but what's the downside too? Like honestly, especially so more further on devil's advocate, right? Let's say by January of next year, 2022, December, November, like we're all, everything's hunky dory and we're all going back and we're at 50, 75% capacity in stadiums. Do you think that if there is I'm not saying mid majors or anything like that, but let's take a Northwestern, right? Who was in, top 15 team this year. Do you think if Northwestern played Alabama at a neutral site, which is probably going to be in fucking Atlanta anyway, like, do you think Northwestern fans won't travel? Like, of course they will. Like, I think it would be a moneymaker for the NCAA, especially after a down year this year.
Right.
I mean, now may be the time to make that determination where you expanded, like you said, one round, right, where a team like Texas A&M, where a team like Northwestern or say, not Wisconsin this year, but Penn State, for instance, like one of those teams makes it in without like COVID restrictions or without players missing. It's an interesting concept. And then you expand it out to the West Coast and you're talking about like Oregon, USC again. I mean, USC keeps recruiting somehow, and I think the thing is that Alabama just doesn't talk about their recruits. Waldron, man, he's fucking funny.
Exotic fruit, bananas.
Well, listen, at least I can fucking name an exotic fruit.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm busy here talking about college
fruit.
Football.
I don't know.
I'm talking about college football in the future.
Pomegranate.
Sports economics, and you guys want to talk about fruit. Whatever, man. Yeah, I get it.
The fucking Christ killer's talking about exotic fruits.
I mean, I don't think anybody wants to sit through another Alabama blowout in a championship game, right? And maybe that game would have been better if they played Clemson. I don't know. I think it would have been a better story, obviously. I think the story of the college football playoff was the Justin Fields performance against Clemson, and the fact that both of those quarterbacks are now draft eligible. So what does that mean? And then maybe the best quarterback in that league wasn't even in a bowl this year at BYU or at Wyoming or wherever the fuck that other kid is. So I mean, who was the kid? Was it BYU? He played like one game, so he would be eligible and then stop playing. We don't know. And they were pimping the freaking NFL draft during the national championship game the other day, which of course is a spectacle onto itself. But that game was almost entertaining in the first half, and then you just saw it fall away from Ohio State. And I think a lot of people at that point are like, yeah, click. I mean, it was probably the same thing that happened during the Browns game. If the Browns were, the heavy favorite, they would have been like, well, we expected this to happen because the Browns came out and punched Pittsburgh in the mouth. It was fun to watch. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's fascinating shit. And I think there's going to be lessons to be learned from obviously all of these sports leagues, performing during a pandemic with no fans. I mean, granted, there were people that were allowed to attend in Miami, which is part of the reason they held it in Florida.
Where's the NCAA basketball supposed to be this year?
I don't even know.
If it even has.
Guessing no fans this year, but
what you would have to do again is you'd have 4 instead of having like multiple. They would get right to the regionals, right, where they have 4 regions instead of having like the first and second rounds in other cities. They would have the 4 regions and then probably end up in a neutral site somewhere in a southern city. I mean, funny.
You are forgiven, sir. You are forgiven.
Yeah, just watch the tape. It was funny. I was on a call today with someone from Louisiana, and he's like, "Yeah, we don't really go out." And I was like, "Look, man, I saw what happened in Tuscaloosa on Monday night." And I was like, "I get it." Meanwhile, people here are like afraid to go to the grocery store. They just, maybe that's how we get to herd immunity. I don't know, but down there, the rules are obviously very different. And the fact that Governor Cuomo even allowed fans at the Bills game the other day. Granted, they probably would have congregated anyway, but maybe there's something about that. Like you were commenting earlier this week about how baseball is going to allow fans to a certain extent.
Well, did you see the Cuomo State of the State this week where he's talking about finally rolling out rapid tests at sporting events and venues and entertainment venues to allow fans in? I mean, it's a good way to start building it up because we're not going to be widely vaccinated for a long time, and we have to at some point, money's got to start flowing, right? So, I mean, I would in a second. I mean, if you told me I needed to take a rapid test to get to a hockey game, I'd be like, sign me up, man. Sign me the fuck up. I'll go right down to MSG and do it.
I mean, I don't want to be like the Debbie Downer here, but, that assumes the accuracy of rapid testing.
And that's the thing. I'm not saying, okay, so there's an error rate. So you obviously still not doing full capacity, and you're probably still going to have to require masks and whatever else guidelines, but you're at least getting a percentage of fans back in the building and money's flowing.
So the test I took last week, which was a 24-hour test, had a 99% accuracy rating.
Was that a brain scratcher or
no? It was a saliva test.
Okay.
Really? Oh, all the ones I've taken are up the nose, but the first one was all the way up, and then the second one was like just inside or whatever, and then the third one was back all the way. The third one was the rapid test, and I was like, well, let's see what happens. But
I didn't think the rapid test.
Well, if I hadn't had the regular PCR test before that said I was negative, it was like, oh, all right, well, I'd question the rapid test. Just based on, maybe, and this is how this thing is going to work, right? Is that, as we progress, presumably things will get more accurate, right? Or unless they're just like, fuck it, since half the country doesn't care anyway, what does it matter? I don't know.
It's a solid idea now that testing is easier to come by. Early on, obviously, there are issues getting testing rolled out, but now that we've kind of reached that point, if they can pull that off, it would definitely help.
And I think the governor's hard pivot was very interesting as well.
Oh, yeah.
When he's like, oh, we've got to reopen and can't let this go on. I was like, where the fuck have you been for the last 9 months?
Let's get creative. I didn't say pack it at 20,000 fans. I'm not
talking outside of sports, right?
Yeah.
It's like the federal government spent over $3 trillion to more or less federalize the economy. And it was like because if not, every small business in this country would be out of business, which is nice. And then you have, not that we're like Barstool blowers here or anything, but the Barstool Fund.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's such a great idea that I wish I wish other people had come up with that idea, beforehand, where it's, I'm sure there are tax implications along there somewhere, but maybe some Jew magic in there somewhere, but staying away for because then there are small businesses in this area. This is Barstool, sort of incubator around here, right? And Swampscott and Marblehead and here on the North Shore in Massachusetts, and there are small businesses around here that are getting money from that. It's great.
That actually reminds me. Speaking of Barstool, they're Penn National Gaming, their owner. Stock over $100 a share. If you bought it last year, you'd be in really good shape. But sports books for a second. Back on the exciting news. So it was announced that the Nationals are building an MGM sportsbook attached to Nats Park. That comes after the Capitals putting one in to the Capital One Arena, formerly the Verizon Center. They're currently finishing that up. They already have it in there in the box office, but they're building a full sports book. Think of a fan perspective here and how you're going to watch a game. You could do mobile betting or box office betting in the arena. That is just adding a whole nother.
It's very European. And the thing is, with mobile betting here now, you could bet while you're in the stands, right? And live betting is new to Americans, whereas in the UK, I think, like when it comes to soccer, for instance, I mean, why do you think every EPL team is fucking sponsored by a betting app? You know, I mean, when you could go to I've never been to an EPL game, but from what I understand, what I've been told by people who have, you know, there are like phone booths and there are like, you know, bodegas, if you will, newsstands outside the stadium where before, during, and after the game, you can wager, you know, and now you can do it right on William Hill and bet, you know, man bet and this and that. You can bet right on your W88. I mean, granted, a lot of this also appeals to Asians, you know, and the other thing that's interesting about EPL, right, is that the broadcast rights in Europe are so fucked up that, like, you and I and everybody, like, as dispersed Giants fans, right? Most of us, you know, Jason and I, or you know, at least Jason is in the NFC East where he lives. You know, I am not, and I have to compete now against both Tampa Bay and the Patriots when I want to see the Giants on TV. You know, but you can get a Sunday ticket in Europe. There's how many teams in the EPL? 20, 30, right? And I guess it's 20 teams, right, in the English Premier League. And there's one game on Friday night. Like, you don't, like, there's no like NFL on Fox, right?
Yeah.
You have to like go to the bar and then you go home, and when you go home, the like one game of the week is on TV. Like, that would drive me fucking bananas.
Well, I'm excited. Like, Virginia's mobile betting should be starting in a couple of weeks in time for the Super Bowl, and that's going to be like any of the betting apps will be allowed. So that's another state down. New York has announced they're approving it. It's going to get rolled out.
New York, the New York State Legislature approved mobile betting, like or sports betting, 2 or 3 or 4 years ago at this point, and I guess that's as much revenue as
the governor finally realized. Oh wait, this COVID deficit, like sports betting will help.
If all you have to do is get on a cell tower across the state line, and you're good.
What do you think I do every time I visit New York? Now we drive to Jersey with.
How do you think? I mean, I'm lucky enough to live close enough to New Hampshire where I can be there and back into my house.
I'll have to drive to DC to tomorrow for the bet on the weekend's games.
You'll see that after all these lockdowns are lifted and he has to close a loophole, he's got limitations on casinos and how many licenses they'll give. He'll start opening that up. He has to. He doesn't have a choice. And places like, Nassau County, where they don't really have anything. There's a small casino in what's the track by Rockaway? Aqueduct. There's one in Yonkers, and then you've got upstate New York, and that's really it.
So Thomas, all you need just either whatever Barstool betting app, FanDuel, MGM. You drive over the border to Jersey, and you're in Jersey, and you can bet. The only thing is, as I if you're driving back over into New York, you can't continue to in-game bet. So the only problem is it won't push offers to you if they want to cash you out. So like that bet this summer that I made on the soccer game by mistake, I happened to be watching. I happened to be sitting in Jersey the whole time, and they offered me the cash out that I could take. Now, if I had driven back over the border, I never would have gotten that $600 cash out. So I couldn't play.
I mean, I had a great, soccer parlay going, and I could have cashed out 2-1 or 3-1 over what I had to get in my car and drive to New Hampshire. I'm not going to do that. And I'll just take my chances at that point, because when I do go over there, basically, Tom, the only thing that happens is that your phone connects to a cell tower that's in a state that has legalized gambling. And in New Hampshire, they have a preferred or a selected app. So, like, if you use DraftKings, they know. There's a geolocation check. I mean, I live 20 miles from the New Hampshire border, right? And I try to do it here, and it's like, no, because the cell tower is the wrong way. I mean,
noon o'clock tomorrow, Robert. I'll meet you at noon.
You guys can get lunch if restaurants are open. Actually, to be honest with you, we could talk about this offline. I would not go to Washington right now.
No, but I have to. I don't want to go to the. I won't go to the arena. I'll just go pull over and bet on the phone and then leave.
There's a great betting parlor. Just you got to move one of the barriers over by the Capitol, You'll be
Gotta
fine.
push some, insurrectionists out.
I just gotta drive over. Well, the weird thing about the rules for DC, you all know, like, first of all, it's only the state-run Lotto app that you can bet on the sports betting.
Yeah,
also, there's
bet
certain
DC.
areas. There's certain areas that are also restricted within DC that you can't bet on. You can't bet. So there's more rules about betting in DC than there is about insurrection.
So can you drive into Southeast, like near where the casino is, and bet or no?
Yeah, I had issues.
Like if
near
you go down 295?
Yeah, I had issues near Capitol Hill, and I had issues. I had issues. Just entering. There's if you're on 395, that park that we played golf at, I pulled off there because it's the easiest. It's the closest pull off once I close, and it's like you're restricted here, and I was like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, this is the thing too. Like if you go over and like I'm off 95, well, sort of off 95 over here, and you go into New Hampshire, and you pull over, even going on 93, like further over, further west. Like if it doesn't think you're in New Hampshire, like,
Casey and I. That's the thing. Casey and I had that problem in Jersey often. Like kept having to go to a parking lot. Like we knew it would allow us because if you just go over the border, it doesn't really know that you're in Jersey and it freaks out.
Yeah, I mean, it's
sometimes you gotta restart your phone but in Vegas, and this is a good one for our next trip, Matt. Like, why would we do box office betting? Like, what? At this point, there's no point.
There's still a thing. There's a thing to that, though, right?
I know, but
it's like. But this is the same thing as going to a racetrack now at Saratoga. Like last time I was at Saratoga, like 2 or 3 years ago, everybody just sat in their chairs and was like this, right? Because they don't have to go to the window. I'm like, I want to take it in my hand. I want to drop it and be like, fuck, with the DRF in my hand.
I know, but if you're doing a parlay, if you're doing a parlay or any kind of thing like that,
yeah, I get that.
You're cutting yourself off by not doing electronic betting.
I don't want to go to a goddamn kiosk. I want to take my roll out of my pocket. I want to go, okay, this is what I got. Here you go.
I know.
Cigar in my mouth.
And you probably get a free drink. If you bet at the window, you get a
I get it. But if you're doing a monster parlay or something, or you're doing a bet that is,
do I have by going somewhere else?
Not even a monster parlay, but what if you drop money on an underdog and they look like they're going to win it, and they're offering you a guaranteed cash out 3/4 of the way through the game? A deal. Why would there's deals that you should take.
You gotta take it, Shlomo. You gotta
listen. I'm back to that soccer bet. Like there's deals you have to take.
I don't think you can use that as an example anymore because you completely fucked that bet up to begin with.
I know, because it was a mistake.
Sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning betting on Iranian soccer.
Right.
Exactly.
But if you're
at a sports book at 3 a.m. in fucking Vegas, you should be asleep.
Right.
Or homeless.
Why would you sleep in Vegas? Hello.
Well, there are reasons.
But if
I don't know.
Hey,
what's going on there?
I don't know anything about that.
You put the coins directly in them,
yeah.
as opposed to leaving it on the nightstand.
Yeah. No,
I've heard.
You go to the candy store. You got all your accoutrements, and no, Dan said it's like going to the OTB or the track. It's a ritual.
You got to have the thing. You got to, that's why, like for the big, for the Triple Crown, you go down to when Suffolk Downs was still open here. You go there, you get your tickets, you feel that, it's like it's not the same as it used to be, and that's why you're trying to hold on to those old days.
So speaking of the racetrack, Dan, we had talked about with Seth and like our big post-COVID event. We were hoping to do like a weekend in Saratoga. At this point where we stand, what's your feeling percentage-wise that that's doable this summer?
I'm going to go 50-50.
Like a 40 weekend in Saratoga.
Saratoga, used to, this year they opened early with no fans. They wanted to extend it a little bit, which made perfect sense because I mean, their handle again was up 14% this year because you had people that were either sitting in their backyard or could bet from anywhere, right? They didn't have to be necessarily in New York or in Saratoga. More like at a window. I think there will be an extreme demand especially over next summer, right? Because look at what happened this year, right? We went through this, and then it went in the summer, and people actually got to move around a little bit. Maybe you didn't get to go to the racetrack, or whatever. You could play golf, you could do this, you could do that. You could have dinner inside. I mean, right now people are having we were in Boston last over New Year's weekend, whatever, and like we walked into a restaurant there, and I was like getting takeout, and I was like, oh my god, there are so many people in here, I cannot even believe it. And this is I don't live in a very densely populated area compared to a city, and I was like, holy shit, I couldn't even believe it, because 8 months ago in March or April, if you had that many people in a restaurant, they would have shut you down and closed you.
Right.
So now I think to that point, and maybe with some, and to Tom's point, like, if Augusta's willing to bring in some people, like, I think by the end of the summer, or if we go into the summer and there's, a percentage of the pop, if we're into a different phase, we're doing phases, right, with the vaccine, 1, 2, 3, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like if we've already kind of made our way collectively, especially on the East Coast, through like a 2A into a 2B, I think we're probably going to see fans. And I'm not going to say that the state is going to, because the state, NYRA owns the racetracks, that the state is willing to put rapid testing outside. They're going to have to get it sponsored or paid for by somebody, which at Saratoga probably won't be a problem. But you could probably, and I mean, anybody who's been to Saratoga in the summer, there's a million people there, right? They pack it in, and you're on top of each other, and you're standing shoulder to shoulder at the rail. And of course, Saratoga opens after the Belmont by about a month and a half. So we'll see. But I think the governor's comments yesterday would lend a little bit to having fans at the racetrack. So I would say if they open the season late, which I don't think they would, because there's the online handle you have to think about, and keeping the tracks and keeping that sort of, they moved all the big races around this year, or rather, like, in 2020, to keep the tradition alive and to make sure it kept moving along. And I still think that if they had moved, or if they've kept the races the way they were, as the law may have been a Triple Crown winner.
I think the precedent was set with the Bills here. I think if you're allowing fans in for a Bills playoff game, you've set a precedent for outdoor venues, and that should include baseball.
I'm going to butt you here, though, because Erie County is in a different, the state of New York as it relates to COVID-19 is split into regions, right? And the Great Lakes or the Erie County region is much, much different than the Hudson Valley or New York City. And, for what it's worth, both baseball teams in the state are in New York City, except for the Buffalo Blue Jays.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to play a role as well.
Maybe.
If the border's still closed when baseball season starts, where are the Blue Jays going to go?
Yeah.
Is it going to be that again? Are we going to play this game again?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I mean, it was great to see fans in Buffalo, right? I mean, those people have no regard for life as it is. They jump through flaming table.
Oh, my God. The flaming table video. Holy shit.
So, I mean, they live in fucking Erie County.
First of all, how that guy didn't even realize his hand was on fire. How drunk? Literally, his hand was on fire. One of these years, we will go to a Bills game when the Giants when they play the AFCs. We're going to Buffalo because it'll be fun. Oh, I mean, and now they're like good, so it's even worse. I mean, the Bills just won their first playoff game in 25 years. Like, it's such a shame. Like, what was it? Where I forget what there was some other play, or there was something in one of these college football games, and it was like, man, that really, really deserved fans. And it sucked. Like, you know what? You got me excited. You're talking about traveling for sports. So I think we've had this conversation, Matt. provided this is able next year, and let's say we were taking a Giants road trip. The Giants are going to be, forget the Cowboys, the Washington, we don't really care, the Eagles. If you had to pick Kansas City, New Orleans, Chicago, Tampa Bay, or LA, where would you want to go?
Say those again.
Kansas City, New Orleans, Chicago, LA, Tampa Bay.
I thought they played Chicago this year.
They play them again based on a schedule rule of way, I don't know. It's some
division.
Yeah.
Chicago, depending on what time of year it is.
Yeah. That's when I talk about I want to watch football, Chicago, man, like the food's good, the people are awesome. That's a football town. That would be a hell. And Chicago, I mean, God, what a great city.
Probably followed by Kansas City.
Yeah, which would be a hard ticket. Those are the football.
Those tickets are not hard to get.
Those are the football trip, like LA, Tampa Bay. Okay, baseball, like whatever, hockey, baseball, football. Chicago, Kansas City.
The problem with Kansas City is that everything closes in Kansas City on Sunday at like 5. So by the time you're at
remote too, right?
The what?
It's remote. It's not downtown.
Yeah. Well, it's on, at least it's on the interstate. So I mean, like you can get back into town sort of easily. But the problem is when you get back to your hotel, all the barbecue places are closed. Because
I've never had a Kansas City barbecue. I mean,
you have to you gotta look.
But we go to Chicago, we land, we stop at Gene and Jude's, right? We go in, whatever, and then like after the game, it's like Portillo's.
Well, but you're in the loop, so you could stumble to the game drunk.
Yeah.
You could just
I mean, you could walk to the game practically from the Chicago
Hill. Again, Chicago, if it's the dead of winter, that's a tough watch.
So that's why this year was
a lot of whiskey.
And I mean, I agree with Tom that SoFi Stadium looks.
I know.
Granted, it's in fucking Englewood, but
I love LA. I mean, we love LA. Those Rangers trips.
But here's the thing with SoFi Stadium. Like, let's say you're flying in on Sunday. I mean, not that you would, but if you're flying in on Sunday, you are very close to the airport, so you could get yourself some airport beers for $50, and then go over to the to the game, and then go stay in fucking Newport Beach.
And that's the Chargers. That's a ticket that will be almost free. That's the fucking Chargers. Nobody. I mean, you'll be able to get a ticket to the Chargers.
Yeah, and I mean, well, I don't know because again, no fans, beautiful stadium. I don't know. I mean, LA does have boring fans. I mean,
this is a tough. I'm honestly Kansas City, Chicago, LA for me. Those are tough. That's a tough decision.
I mean, Kansas City is a great environment. I've done a division game there. It's loud. It's fun.
But there's not much else you're going to do, right?
But you have to get there. Like the thing was I had flown into town. I was meeting somebody else that was flying into town, and we drove directly from the airport to the game, which, like Matt said, is a bit of a hike. And we parked, got out, got into and went right into the seat. Like the Kansas City experience is the tailgate.
That's what I was thinking.
Kauffman Stadium is in the city.
It's the parking lot. That's what you're going, right?
Yeah, I mean, the parking. You can see the parking lot from space. It's so big.
Yeah,
I mean, it is, and everybody there is, generally in a happy mood because they don't know any better and live in the Midwest.
Exactly.
And now they're Super Bowl champions, so they're assholes.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's I would have to put Chicago probably above Kansas City. And LA pretty close to the top there. And I mean, New Orleans is New Orleans. I'd like to see a game.
I'm good with New Orleans.
I'm all set too. And Tampa's Tampa.
I've been to Tampa. I mean, I lived in Tampa. I've been to Tampa. It's great. It's wonderful. I can go to Tampa anytime I want. It's not special.
Well, any chance to see the Giants beat Tom Brady?
Yeah,
I'm in.
I mean, I love it. I mean, it's great. But honestly, it's so tough. I don't know if we have to pick one. I think I think it'll depend on when the week, what the schedule is, what the dates are.
Well, again, that's why we got robbed this year because Chicago was week 3, right? And it was like, holy fuck, this is perfect. Like you could, from where we all live, we could all be in Chicago in 2 hours, right? It's like, come on, man. Yeah. And these fucking Chinese took it away from us. But it was like it would have been so perfect. You could fly in on Saturday afternoon, have yourself a meal, get a good night's sleep, and then go right to. You could walk to the game from the Hilton again.
It's just a great fucking city. I loved visiting when I had to go for work. I loved going to Chicago. I was
It's accommodating.
So excited. And I don't know. I got to look forward to the food. I was like, what am I going to eat on this fucking trip? What can I eat?
I really wish the Giants. One of these days, the Giants will play the Titans, and we can go to fucking Nashville and have a proper weekend.
Yeah,
we have to go back.
I'll probably be 45 years old by then. And then
one of these years
you can bring your RV, park it next to the AT&T building.
If I'm not mistaken, talk about like Giants. I don't think they play in Vegas for like 4 years. Is that right?
I think two.
Because shit, fuck,
that would be a disaster.
Two.
We'll go back for the next Ranger one next year, but
I might have a hook on seats for that.
Oh, that's always helpful.
Look at this guy, Johnny Bigcock over here.
So yeah,
I got to take a leak, so I might have to drop.
All right, we're going to talk about. Let's keep talking about football. I love playoff football. I wish there were college football. We should come up with like random college. The funny thing about this time of year is like I'm not into college basketball yet. I could care less, until the.
Are you pissing yourself now, or are you gonna go? Wait, hold on.
He's relieving himself in a carpet.
I know.
So I am gonna drop off. So I'll.
Okay.
All right.
It has been a delightful show for you guys.
It's been fun. I will. We'll see you.
Enjoy the game tomorrow.
I thought he was pissing himself live on air.
He might have, but that's okay. I just like football. There's still little football. This is where we start to watch the water like pour down the drain, right? Because like I will tell you during the Ravens game the other day, who did they play? The Ravens and the Texans. Was it the Texans? Who did they? Was it? No, the Ravens and the Titans. Like I fell asleep during that game and I woke up and I was like, I deprived myself of football, like playoff football. I was sad in super wild card weekend.
Here's the only thing that works perfectly for us anyway, me and you. So football, you'll be sad when it's over. We have a couple weeks left, but right when it ends, NASCAR starts. So Sundays there's still a Sunday cog in the wheel. There's always a Sunday, sacred Sunday event.
Right.
And no matter what, all year, the way the NASCAR schedule goes, the way the football goes, we always have Sundays, and it really works perfectly.
They aligning the Daytona 500 with President's Day weekend was genius.
Yeah.
Sadly, this year it does fall on Valentine's Day, so there's like, I think I'll try to talk Mrs. Diamond into like smoking some meat, and it'll be like it's for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, cut the steak in the shape of a heart, and you're all set.
Yeah, it's like it's really
fucking romantic, But yeah, that's Sundays. Always have something.
And it's badminton season.
I love it.
And you do have what will at least attempt to be normal NBA, normal NHL seasons.
This just reminded me, we're also attempting an Olympics this year, a Summer Olympics. And it reminded me, Robert, that I watch every fucking weird sport in the Olympics. Badminton, I'm into it. Table tennis, I'm into it. Every fucking track and field event, I'm into it. I don't care. Like, there's some weird shit. Fencing, I'm into it. I watch it all. I stay up all night. I watch it all.
Because it's the Olympics. And now next year,
I get all patriotic and shit for 2 weeks. Like,
you're gonna have to have virtual Olympics this year if you're gonna get everybody to Tokyo. I don't know, man.
But that's apparently the plan, is to do it. So
topless bed. Now we're talking.
Yeah. No, this is why you should be planning. You should be in the IOC, Casey. You should be planning the Olympic Committee.
They don't deal in cash.
Yeah, you gotta fucking pay them off. That's the only problem. All right, so football, we're good. So anything else you're looking forward to this weekend?
No, man, playoff football. That's it.
Playoff football.
I think two games is it's not three. I mean, three games each day was a gift. It was fun. Like I said, I deprived myself by falling asleep for part of the whatever Ravens game. But we're down to it now. I mean, I couldn't like. It was like I heard on the radio today. It was like the Bills are playing for a chance to go to the AFC Championship game. I was like, what? Like I couldn't even wrap my mind around it.
Bills Chiefs would be a great game.
It is unfortunate for the Bills that they do have to play the Chiefs.
Yeah,
but I mean, maybe they could do something. I don't know.
I think it could be a good football game. I do, and
yeah,
that'll make me eat my words even more about Josh Allen. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to the first week of hockey. Very excited here for tomorrow night. Like you would believe, you all know that's like my number one love, and I wish I can go. I hope later this season we can go, but very excited for hockey tomorrow, and to get a decent 56 game schedule, and then hopefully, like everything right now we're seeing with basketball, there could be issues, can't postpone games, what have you, but you know what? They all got through it last season. They finished the season. Baseball got through their fucking clusterfuck. I'm not saying it was successful and like great, but they crowned a champion, a legitimate champion. Football got through it, and they had some really bad weeks. Hockey's going to get through it. There might be some bumps in the road, but they're going to get through it. And basketball is going to get through it. And eventually we'll get to go. And that's it.
It'll be interesting to see what happens outside the bubble, right? I mean, that's how the NFL, or rather the NHL and the NBA succeeded last year, because they were able to finish their seasons in the bubble. Yeah. Now you're not bubbling. You're going to a regional approach. We'll see what happens. Yeah. And to Thomas's questions, or question, the key to the Bills is to the offense needs to hang with Kansas City. So that is it. That is the bottom line. If they can score, they have to keep pace with them, and the defense needs to give them, Singletary and Diggs a chance to rest.
They have to get through the Ravens first, and we think they will, but let's not look past every game. They've got to beat the Ravens this week, and I think they will. We all agreed on that earlier, but they've got to get through the Ravens first. So let's cross the bridge with the Chiefs next week. Next week show we'll go next Thursday. I know I can be here next Thursday, so we'll go back to Thursdays. Our viewer count was higher tonight, though. Just so you know, like doubled our viewer count tonight.
Wow, to 5,
6, and 7 at times.
Oh wow, I can't believe it. All right, enjoy your hockey tomorrow.
It's been fun. We'll talk to you soon. I'll see you next week. The Grand Central Sports Hub. Be safe. Good night.
Good night.